Hello everyone, so in a special video of Final Fantasy XIV, we have the Hatching Tide event, hair-raising Hatching Tide. That's their subtitle, not mine. And obviously this is for 2020, and so it started today, Monday, March 30th, 2020, and it's going to be split into two parts. So in the first part, which started today, it'll continue until Sunday, April 5th, and then immediately after, the second phase, or Chapter 2, as it's called on the lodestone, begins on April 5th, again, immediately after the first phase ends, and then the second phase ends on Monday, April 13th, and both the phase, or Chapter 1, Phase 1, whatever you want to call it, will be available still when Phase 2 starts, so you don't have to worry about trying to get Phase 1 done before Chapter 2, or Phase 2. And the event starts in Limsa. Funny how I say Limsa Lominsa, but we're totally not in Limsa Lominsa. It starts by the amphitheater in New Gridania, and the only requirement is level 15, so you can actually start this quest in any class. Spoiler, there's a fate later on, but you do have to be in a Disciple of War or Disciple of Magic class, so there's really no point on being in a class that isn't one of those, and you don't get any experience from it anyway. So with that said, without any further ado, we're going to start the event by talking to this Aurelorus rabbit, and not talk to my familiar minion, whatever it's called. The 8th Umbral Calamity. And yes, you can see we have a rabbit head and a rabbit suit. And trying on the rabbit suit, we see this. And trying on the head, we see that. And I have to say it looks rather fitting with my Lancer currently, just because the chest piece has a higher neck to it. So you can't really see that it's a different looking head. That's actually quite amusing. I hadn't seen that before. Anyway, that said, the Aurelorus rabbit in Mikito's amphitheater wishes to share the joy of Hatching Tide with you. Come on, come one, come all, for Hatching Tide is upon us once more. Well, if it isn't Solarian, back to enjoy the festivities for another year, are we? I could not be more pleased to welcome you once again. Do you not recognize me? It's me, your old friend Side note, I will not pronounce her name right, so she's being Jill. Jilly Alapo. And before you ask, yes, this costume is the result of yet another vision. I but recently dreamt that a veritable horde of hippity-hoppity rabbits descended on the realm for Hatching Tide, delighting children far and wide with their button-cute noses and cotton-white tails. Why rabbits, you may ask, and the question is a valid one. After all, rabbits do not lay eggs, nor are they traditionally associated with the Archons in any particular way. Unfortunately, I have no answer to that question, and yet so vividly do I remember the smiles on the faces of each and every youngling in my dream that I swore I would bring this vision of Hatching Tide to life. And might you be so kind as to lend me a hand? Sounds excellent to me. I don't have a face that makes it sound like that, but okay. Oh, thank you, my friend. With your aid, I have no doubt that this year's incarnation of Hatching Tide will be the most exciting and extravagant yet. And so, without further ado, I would encourage you to seek out my associate Nonata near the Carline Canopy. She will be most happy to enlighten you as to how you might assist us in making this year's festivities something to remember. And so, of course, heading to the canopy. And as you can also see, we have decorations. And of course, I'm recording this when it's daytime, or nighttime. Did you know it's daytime? Oh dear. It's nighttime here, so while we can't see the lamps, it looks so much cooler during the day because of the different colors. So hopefully by the time we're done talking to Nonata, I will be able to show the colors during the day. And what's this? Another rabbit? Bright-eyed rabbit. The happiest hatching tides to you, my dear. I'm looking for a Nonota. Nonoto. Nonota? And you have found her. I may have more fur and whiskers than usual, but I can assure you that it's me inside this most charming costume. Now, pray tell, what might I do for you? Come to help with the festivities, you say? Your presence is most welcome, and then some. Jill and I have our hands, or should I say paws, full here, and we would be most indebted to you for your assistance. Allow me to explain. In the hopes of turning this year's hatching tide into a true event from the ages, we scoured the realm and procured a host of chickens that would lay for us the most remarkable eggs. Sadly, the other day I got distracted for a moment and neglected to properly shut the door to the storehouse where we were keeping them. And before I knew it, the birds had flown the proverbial, or literal in this case, coop. Needless to say, without our hens there can be no eggs, and without our eggs there can be no hatching tide. Surely you see our plight, and so I beg you, my friend, please go out there and catch our precious birds before they are swallowed up by the beasts that prowl the wood. I have but one more small request for you, and that is when you don one of these lovely rabbit suits and wear it while you go about the deed. Why, you ask? Let it suffice to say that Jill's vision have never led us astray before, and I do not expect this to change. You may be skeptical now, but believe me, once you put it on, you'll not readily want to part with it. And that's why I'm happy to say that we will be happy to gift one to you in commemoration of your efforts should you see this task through to completion. Leave it to me. Lamest line ever. And so we need to head out to, let me open up the map here, all the way down there. And so I'm going to just teleport to Bent Ranch Meadows, and I'll note while I'm in the process of teleporting that once you get there, there is going to be an NPC that you'll want to talk to, which will turn you into will put you into the rabbit suit. You'll have to be in the rabbit suit to participate in the fate. And so as you can see, we have a whole host of bunny rabbits here. And we also have at least one person with the new mount that's in the Mog Station. So we want to talk to the Hatching Tide helpmate, and we want to do that quickly, and I'll read what he said afterwards, because the fate is about to start. And blah blah blah. So basically the fate has started once we talk to this person here. And we'll talk about what he says later. Anyway, so you have two skills. One will make the chickens who are running around very fast to be cast with heavy, basically. And the other is using a net to actually catch said chickens. And it helps if you use the right skills sometimes too, you know. And as far as I can tell, as long as you participate in the fate, you'll end up getting the same amount of rewards. Because I did it 3 times on my main character, and I got the same amount of rewards, and I didn't really catch any chickens. Or at least not as many in either of the 3, and then I ended up with the same reward as it was. Some people have been partying up. I don't know if that makes any difference either. And so we got 5 bejeweled eggs there. So maybe it does make a difference because I only got silver fate there. But anyway, so reading the event log here. So that was Nanata. Hatching Tide Hem, thank you for the 12. You're here. Our chickens have flown the coop. If you don't round them up somehow, we'll have no eggs and no hatching tide. Thanks, friend. You're a true lifesaver. I'll lend you everything you need, and net some bird time in this rabbit suit. Why the rabbit suit, you ask? Why not a rabbit suit, I say? It's hatching tide, after all. And oh, there you are. You're here to help us round up our chickens, right? We really could use another pair of hands right now. The helpmeet will be herding the birds in the direction any moment now. All you need to do is snag as many of the slippery little things as you can. And if we scroll up if we can, we had the rabbit suit can be removed at any time by using the special action, so that's over there. And the event that you remove the costume by accident, you may get another by speaking to the Hatching Tide helpmeet once more, so that's this one. That was around for getting said rabbit suit initially. So obviously I only got 5 there, and that's because it was silver quality. Not silver quality. I was thinking of Stardew there. Silver rank, I guess. I didn't get gold rank, so otherwise you get 10. Obviously silver is 5. I was too busy talking to hit the right keys. So I'm not going to wait around for another of these fates. I'm just going to head back to Gridania. But otherwise, there's that. So basically, in summary, I'm going to suggest probably partying up will make it better chance of getting the gold rank participation in the said fate. You probably need to catch 5 chickens in total for the gold otherwise. So yeah. And speaking to Nonata. Welcome back, friend. I'm pleased to inform you that we've counted our chickens and they've all safely returned to the coop. Truly you have done us, all of Eorzea, a great service this day. Without further ado, I must report back to Jill and share these good tidings. If you have no other pressing matters, pray join me. I'm quite certain our lead celebrant will want to offer her thanks in person. And so heading back to the amphitheater. As daytime slowly comes about, of course it's foggy here so you can't quite see everything, but you can see more of the decorations and a better color of them. And if you're wondering where you actually spend those eggs, well, you'll need to talk to this guy who I can't talk to yet. Well, I can talk to them, but I can't do anything with that because I haven't finished the event, or at least the first part. So speaking with Nonata first, I can't thank you enough for returning your chickens, friend. Jill is positively overjoyed to know that the festivities will be able to go on just as she envisioned them. And speaking to Jill, Nonata and Celebrian, I hear that in no small part thanks to you, our most confounding chicken conundrum has been solved. And I found your chickens all right, or exceptional work if I do say so myself. Yes, you're truly a paragon among adventurers, an exemplar of, forgive me. At any rate, thanks to you, we can at long last begin the festivities in earnest. Let the curtain rise on Hatching Tide to remember. As promised, you will now be rewarded with a stylish rabbit costume of your very own. We'd be most We'd be most appreciative, that doesn't quite work, does it? If you could don it for the duration of the festivities to add an extra touch of charm and delight to the celebration. And with that, I had best get back to my post before chickens run off again. Make sure you close the gate. Don't tell Nonata this, Celebrian, but I am counting on you as much as anyone to make this year's Hatching Tide a resounding success. Promise that you won't go far, will you? Nope. And so you get your rabbit head and rabbit suit. And if you're wondering, yes, you can dye them. This marks the conclusion of the first quest for this year's Hatching Tide. For details on when the second quest will be available, please check the lodestone. And so the lodestone doesn't have any more details other than that the second phase actually starts after the conclusion of this one, which is on April 5th. And my vision have told me that it is you I must count on to ensure this year's Hatching Tide goes off without a hitch. Gee, that sounds familiar. Anyway, so now we can talk to the egg advocate. And we have the rabbit head and the rabbit suit. So if you want more rabbit heads or rabbit suits for your retainers or whatever other NPC, then you can obviously get more of them. There's also this stuffed rabbit. The rabbit looks like as if it's walked straight out of a storybook and is prepared to keep on walking. Please contact authorities immediately in the event that the toy actually demonstrates ambulatory capabilities. Yes, so there's the stuffed rabbit and then there's the Hatching Tide advertisement. So as you can see, and there's also Magicked Prism Hatching Tide. I apparently don't have any. That's good to know. So I'll obviously want to get more of those as well. I will buy one just to demonstrate what it is, though. And obviously you can see each of these are otherwise 5, so you'll need at least 3 more attempts at, well, assuming you get 10, so that's the glow quality, you just need to do 2 fates for getting another set of these, or just those. You just need to do the 1 fate, or 2, depending on what you rank. And then obviously this is whatever you want. But we'll go over here and use this. Oops. Helps if you use the right button, which I didn't, because I used the screenshot button instead of that button. There we go. So that's the Hatching Tide Magic and obviously Magicked Prism. I know my words. Anyways, so there's that. So again, the Hatching Tide 2020 first phase began today, Monday, March 30th, and continues until Sunday, April 5th, which is the first phase. The second phase, or chapter 2, whatever you want to call it, begins right after the end of the first phase or first chapter on April 5th, and then finishes on April 13th. When chapter 2, or phase 2, begins, you will still be able to do chapter 1, phase 1, again, whatever you want to call it. And again, we start at New Britannia, just over there, talking to Jill, who I know is not her name, but I can't say her name, so she's Jill. Anyways, and now that said, I mentioned that you can dye your suit, and of course I don't have room to actually put this on. Okay, so putting this on, you can see that there's the bunny rabbit, obviously, and as mentioned, you can dye the suit, so any which color. Mine will probably be this color, sky blue, just because, or sorry, this one, just because it's the one that I like. Now that said, I do have these ones, so this is a possibility as well. Obviously have a large range of different colors, so it's also one of the fun things is that you can have a lot of different colored rabbits. But anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching!